Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to discuss some very important issues in my own country of Canada that have recently come to light. And it kind of correlates with a prediction that I made back in 2020. So at the beginning of the pandemic, when I remote viewed the pandemic, and if you look back to my videos early on in the pandemic, you'll catch me talking about what I saw when I remote viewed what we were going to be going through. And the energy of the pandemic and COVID that I felt was that there was a very dark consciousness behind it. And I mentioned Hitler's consciousness coming back onto the planet. Now, remember that Hitler wasn't just a man, he was a movement, an energy, a paradigm, a thought process that literally infected the minds of millions of people who thought that it was okay to try and wipe out a human race. And this can never happen again. We can never allow that kind of consciousness to pollute this planet ever, ever again. But in 2020, I could feel the rising of that energy and that consciousness. And when you look back at the restrictions that were put into place, we weren't allowed to go to movie theaters. We weren't allowed to go to restaurants. Our activities were restricted. Our kids couldn't play sports if they didn't take the government's mandated recommendations. Our freedoms were extremely limited, just like they were in World War II. That same sort of consciousness, those same restrictions. And it was very scary at the beginning to see where this narrative was going and the control that the government had, over our lives. And I talk about this consciousness because now it's in our face. So on Friday, the Canadian Parliament honored President Zelenskyy, the Ukrainian president, who many countries around the world have given billions and billions and billions of dollars to, without any sort of steps towards peace. So you have to wonder where this money and all these resources are actually going. Well, on top of honoring President Zelenskyy, the Canadian Parliament also honored an actual Nazi, not someone we throw that name around. It was an actual war criminal that the Canadian government decided to honor on Friday. 98-year-old Ukrainian Canadian Yaroslav Hunka. He is not a Canadian hero. He is not a Ukrainian hero. He is a Nazi, an actual Nazi that fought alongside of Hitler's regime. And what I find very interesting about this is that Hitler's consciousness, all through the pandemic, I saw it in my own country, and I was very disgusted with our Canadian government and the way they treated even protesters who were trying to be heard, who were fed up with mandates, who felt that their Charter of Rights and Freedoms had been stomped all over. Those were the voices that the Canadian government chose not to listen to. And it wasn't just a few thousand people. Those were the voices of many Canadians, millions of Canadians that were fed up being told what to put in their body, and people losing their jobs, their livelihood, their mortgages. Think of everything. On top of our freedoms, think of the people who lost more than what we did, right? Think of that energy that was behind that movement. And now we're seeing it waved in our face, almost like a ritual, where the whole of Parliament stood up and clapped. And now the Speaker of the House is trying to sit there and say, oh, this is on me. This was my idea. Well, I can tell you, the Prime Minister of Canada knows what's going on in Parliament before he arrives. And all it takes is one Google search of who this man is, and you'll find his connection to the Hitler regime. So moving forward, we need to be very awake and aware of what is happening in our own country and the support that we are giving to the leaders who are supporting this paradigm. Right now, if you feel like you can't do anything, yes, you can. You can speak up. I am choosing to get in front of my camera to say that this isn't okay. And I know that I'm only speaking for one of many Canadians that would have a problem with this, because this is not what Canada stands for. It is not what Canada stands for. And it's really sad to sit back and see some of my predictions come to pass, especially just one that I made at the beginning of September. Each month I do a psychic and astrological check-in with an amazing astrologer by the name of Susan Reynolds. And I was saying to her at the beginning of September, I said, I can feel the gates of heaven. They're open right now. There's a portal opening. And people are going to be dying. I feel death. I can feel that opening. And I am literally shocked in the month of September just to see on my own news feed how many people are passing away. And it isn't just people, it's pets too. So, and the number one way that I'm seeing people passing away is dying suddenly of cardiac arrest, blood clots, aneurysms. I'm also hearing of turbo cancers acceleratingly coming out right now. There are so many side effects from listening to the government, and now we're starting to see the damage of what that has caused. So moving forward, we have to use our intuition on the information that we are being shown, because this is not okay, what my government did. This is not what Canadians stand for. We stand for peace. We are the type of people that would have hid the Jews from those monsters. That's who Canadians are at the core of our being. You have to understand, even looking back at the Freedom Convoy, you look back at how Canada worked through 3 weeks of protests without burning one building, without overturning one police car, without anyone dying. They were feeding the homeless. There was bouncy castles and cotton candy. That's a Canadian protest. And you look at America and the Black Lives Matters movements and Antifa, and you look at those protests, and remember, the sad thing is, our own Prime Minister took a knee for those, took a knee for that paradigm, but he wouldn't even listen to what the Freedom Convoy had to say. You compare what happened in America with the looting and the burning of buildings and the people dying and the cars overturned and the burning buildings. And I gotta say, I'm pretty proud to be Canadian with the way we're handling things right now, because Canadians are getting really fed up with the message that our government is giving the rest of the world. Because right now, he just proved, our Prime Minister and our Parliament just proved what Russia has been saying all along. Russia has been saying that the Ukraine is full of Nazis and that that country is just used for money laundering. Well, let's stand back. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just standing back and watching this all go down. I'm just watching it, going, how can people not see what's right in front of our eyes? Where is all of this billions and billions of dollars going? Where are they going? To young men and their graves. This isn't right, you guys. It's not right to fund this. It's not right to send young men to their graves for a political agenda. It's just not right. And then for Zelenskyy to stand in our parliament, and as they're standing there, give praise and honor to an actual Nazi, a war criminal. I'm mad. And you should be too, because this isn't right. It's not right. And I hate to say it, but it really looks like this dark force is getting a lot more cocky and in our face. It really is. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you think about this? See the energy that's being portrayed in our media right now. This isn't okay, guys. This is not okay. The other thing that I wanted to say was I've had a lot of people contact me about the EBS, the Emergency Broadcast System in the US that is about to take place. I believe it's on October 3rd at 2 p.m. There are some truthers out there that are saying, you know, oh my God, everyone who's had the shot is going to be, you know, their graphene oxide is going to be turned on, and you know, people are going to start dying. And no, I'm going to tell you something. No, I don't feel that. I feel like it's going to be fine. I really do. I don't feel that that is the agenda behind that day. Just saying it like it is. I feel that if you are concerned about it, what I would be concerned of is the amount of EMF and 5G that is going to be coming off of those towers in that moment when everyone's cell phone is pinging. So guard yourself. I personally use Defender Shield. If you haven't heard of Defender Shield, they are literally the greatest products on the market. Check out their stuff, www.defendershield.com. And like they literally have blankets that you can wrap yourself in. They have the hats that will protect your head. They've got gloves. For me, I'm on my computer a lot and my hands go numb because I'm so sensitive to energy. So I wear their gloves and I can type longer without my hands going numb. So those are some great products that you can do or that you can use in order to shield yourself in a time like we're being warned about with the 5G and radiation that'll be going off on October 3rd. The other thing that you can do too is just shut off your devices, power them down. You don't need your phone for an hour. Shut it off. See if mentally you can even handle that. Just shut off your devices. Get out in nature, ground yourself in nature, you know, but whatever you do, do not allow fear to be going through your body, because that's not what we have been brought here, and that's not the state that we are supposed to be in. So this is the time to use your intuition, to use your spiritual discernment. Feel truth, feel truth, feel it. What resonates with you? Because some of these truthers are taking it to the next level, and we're not there yet, and hopefully we never will be. So I thank you guys so much for listening to my little rant, but I'm kind of angry at my government. Angry is not the right word. Aware. I'm very aware of what's going on. And I just thought you should be too. So thanks for watching, everybody. God bless. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.